Well, hey there folks, welcome back once again to the Hop House. Sorry, I look like that because the light flashes at the top of the camera if it's working, if it's filming. So if you ever see me start these videos off and I'm like that, then that's why. Welcome along to the Hop House though. We're doing Lidl Craft Beer Festival beers. One more for today, and it's a bit of a big hitter. If you're brand new to this channel, welcome along to the Hop House. We'll call that so like hoppy beer, we like house music. We're on the beer side. If you like either of those or both, then give us one of those. Give us a like, share, subscribe to this channel if it's your cup of tea. Okay, staying on the dark side, and we've just done the Love Lane Black IPA. Mixed results, but overall I give it a thumbs up. I quite liked it. It was decent, it wasn't too bad. Now this next one I think is probably going to blow me socks off, which is why I'm limiting it to the 3 beers in this batch of reviews. So we're going next for a stout. We're going for an Imperial Stout. This could go Pete Tong. So from Love Lane Brewery, and it's their Imperial Stout, and it's coming in at 10%. 10% on the ABV, 440ml can. This was out last year, and I got a can of it. But I gave it to Andy, friend of the channel, because he loves his dark beers and stouts, especially high ABV stuff. This is the kind of thing that I don't want to say I'd avoid, but it's the kind of thing that I wouldn't drink on a regular basis because I like to session beer, and this is 10%. So I'll probably have 2 of these and I'll be like, no. Whereas I'd rather have something more sessionable that I can have a few of. I do like a stout though, and we're in November now, 2022. So this came out, I think, was it last year or maybe the year before in a beer festival? But it was was certainly in my Lidl in the last one in October anyway. $1.99 a can. Should we get it out into the glass? Using my coracle glass for this because it'd be good for jigging and all that stuff. Stouty wise, Love Lane Brewery. I went there with the missus. Now was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. I think it was, you know. Get this out first of all. Wow, that does look quite engine-y. Looks like tar. Looks like tar or engine oil. Not a massive amount of head, but then again, Imperial Stouts you wouldn't expect to have a massive amount of head. There is some head to it though, a bit of laser vision. Oh yeah, bubbles chasing the head, but look at the... It looks impressive. But on the flip side, it does look a little bit thin as well. It's certainly got the slickness of an Imperial Stout, but it doesn't overly look like it's got that much of a body of an Imperial Stout. But we'll get into all that. Yes, I Love Lane. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before now. Christ alive, is it that long? But it was the last race I did. I've really fallen out of love with running. I used to do quite a lot of running. I used to do a lot of 10k. Me and the missus, especially during lockdown and stuff, we went out and did a lot of running, and then we entered races and we've done 10Ks, I've done a couple of half marathons, and I did the rock and roll half marathon in Liverpool, and then when we finished we went out for some beers and ended up going to Love Lane Brewery because we were staying in the Ibis Hotel opposite Albert Dock, and if you just go to the south, follow the Mersey down, it's sort of on a little industrial estate, Love Lane Brewery, and I'd had their pale ale in a can, or was it in a bottle? It was either in a bottle or a can. No, it was in a can. It was from Lidl, from the Craft Beer Festival. And I thought, yeah, it's alright, it's quite pleasant, you know, reminded me a bit of Hobgoblin Goldie sort of thing. And then I went to their brewery and I had the pale on keg, on draft. Totally different kettle of fish. Absolutely amazing. I had their New England IPA, it was stunning. I think I had like a red ale. I'm sure it was a red ale. Maybe it was a guest beer. It was like an American red ale, and that was really good anyway. So yeah, Love Lane Brewery, really enjoyed the beers that I had at their tap room. They put a couple into Lidl, like I said, they put the pale in and they put this in, and I think they put another one in as well. Was it a Weiss beer, Berliner Weisse? That was really nice as well. It was lower ABV, it was only about 3.5%, but it really was quite good. So I'm just checking, I thought my camera had stopped flashing then. Thought it'd stop flashing. Right, let's go for some aroma then, we'll put that into there, we'll give it a whiff, see what we can sniff. Smells the part. This has been in my beer box, where we're in November now, so maybe it's cold outside, it's getting cold on a night time, and then I've kept it out. I've not refrigerated it, so I've tried to bring it back up in temperature a little bit. So I'm hoping this is hopefully about cask temperature now. So 10, 11 degrees, which will suit me down to the ground. I don't want my beer warm, but dark beers I don't want them ice cold. I don't want them cold, I want them... Cask temperature is about right at 10, 11 degrees. This is really fruity. I'm getting roasted malt, but the last beer that I had, I said I was getting like raisin sultanas, figgy prune. This is big time, that. It's a little bit smoky as well. It smells divine. It smells like a hyped up ruby ale. Looks wise, yeah, it is black. It's pitch black. There's no light bleeding through or anything. The more I jig it around, the more I'm actually quite liking the look of it. It still does look a little bit on the thin side, but it's got that tar oiliness where it gloops around, you know, gloops is a good word, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like tar, it doesn't smell like tar. Maybe a little bit like tar actually. But yeah, roasted malt, fig, prune, raisin, sultana, that sort of smell. I'm looking forward to it. Bottoms up, down the hatch. Mmm. Yeah. Oh, the flavour on that. So, it's really it's rich in taste, but I agree, the way I thought it looked thin, it feels slightly thin in the mouth. This is very deceptive. This is very deceptive as a Imperial Stout, because it doesn't feel like one in the mouth. But the flavours are amazing. See, beers like this for me are a treat. I'm an IPA drinker, pale ale, hoppy beer drinker. But a stout is like, it's a nightcap. You know, it always reminds me of, if I drink something like this, it always reminds me of when I was in my early teens. 4 Weddings and a Funeral, when that came out, and they're going in the hotel and he's having a nightcap, and he's talking, that bloke in the hotel, and he's talking to Hugh Grant, and he's got like a brandy or something. He's like, oh, you know, I'll have a nightcap. And that, to me, beers like this, sort of in my head, that's what they are. So I mean, I'm having this as the last beer of this session because it makes sense. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go from here? What am I going to drink after this? I don't drink spirit. I'm not going to start grabbing bottles of whiskey or something. So this is like your nightcap. It's your end of the night drink. I mean, Andy, friend of the channel, he'll have this for breakfast. Well, maybe not for breakfast, but you know, we went to Beer Central and he was on a 11% stout or something as his second drink. He was searching for them. But for me, I couldn't drink a lot of this, but it's very, 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 very nice. Yeah, I mean, you can see sort of how thin it looks. And it is quite thin in the mouthfeel. But I quite like that. And I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't fill you up. It doesn't make you think, oh, that's sitting really heavy. You know, they always used to say that Guinness was like a meal. And I used to drink a lot of Guinness. I used to love Guinness. And when I have something like this, it sort of reminds me of those Guinness days. I mean, this doesn't taste like Guinness, but I'm just trying to put it into perspective. And I'm not sidetracked and gone off on a tangent again. Christ's sake, Eddie, get to the point. My wife would be saying that if she was watching this. So, I'm going to try and get back to the point now. So the mouthfeel, yeah, it's thin. The carbonation is soft. It does stick to the cheeks of your mouth though. It's got that oily, gloopy sort of tar-like, not that I've ever drunk tar, or oil for that matter. But it does coat your mouth. It's nice. It's just deceptive because it's not big in body. So a 10% Imperial Stout for me, like when I drink it, I'll be like, oh, that's filled me up. This doesn't. So body-wise, yes, it's thin. That could help the beer, and it could hinder the beer as well. Bit of both, really. But yeah, I mean, there's no head on that now. Sometimes Imperial Stouts don't have head. In terms of flavours, it's sweet and it's bitter in both aspects, but it's got the richness that I would expect from an Imperial Stout. So when you drink it, you think, cool, this is a nice treat. It's a bit like I said, coming back to the nightcap thing. So it's a bit like, if you've ever had, for example, we're coming up to Christmas, right? Unfortunately, so I know it's only November, beginning of November, but we are coming up to Christmas. So you have your Christmas dinner, and then afterwards you have a big Yule log or something, you know, something that's really rich. You're like, oh, that's finished me off. That was a treat. The flavours in this are that. The body isn't. The body is, I could have 4 more, which is the scary part. It's 10% ABV. But the richness and the flavours, like, oh, that satisfied me. That's really nice. And I've had that from other Imperial Stouts that I've done. So the likes of the Northern Monk North Star beers that I had, all 3 versions, stunning. What other Imperial Stout have I had offhand? The ones that I had at Beer Central, sorry, those Dig Brew ones, beautiful. Although they had a lot better body. So the body is thin, but it's a £1.99 beer. You've got to come back to that. What do you expect for £2? It's like a slimline chocolate cake. That's what it is. It's not got the body. It's not got the thickness or the ultimate feel of a chocolate cake, but it's got the flavour. So you still know it's a treat, if that makes any sense. Probably not. I've gone off on a tangent again. I'm just trying to explain how I think this beer works on flavour, but doesn't on body. And that's scary. Like I say, it's scary because I could probably think I could drink 3 or 4 more of them and then I'd fall on the floor. Shall we read what it says on the can? Love Lane Imperial Stout. Love Lane Brewery's home in the heart of Liverpool's vibrant Baltic Triangle. A place full of doers, creators and makers. A double mash stout with notes of dark chocolate, licorice and roasted malt. Full-bodied and rich. So, I disagree with that. I disagree with the licorice bit, because if it had licorice in it, it'd pour down the sink. It does have dark chocolate in it, it does have roasted malt, and it has pruny, figgy character. It doesn't have licorice. You'd know about it if it had licorice, because I really can't stand licorice, as I've said on many occasions. So, malts, Golden Promise, Flaked Oats, Crystal 150, Crystal T50, Chocolate Malt, and Carafar 3. What's wrong with Carafar 1 and 2? The hops are Parto. Never heard that before. P-A-H-T-O, Parto. I'm that sad that when I finish this review, I'm going to look up Parto hops, because I've never heard of them before. So the nose is honey roast, the finish is smooth and velvet, the palate is chocolate, caramel and chocolate, the IBUs are 30 and it's 4.4 UK units. Your ingredients: water, malted barley, wheat, oats, hops and yeast. Contains gluten. So there's no lactose in it, so that's a good thing. Yeah, the body is lacking, but It's been put on a shelf at £2. So for an Imperial Stout, £2, you know, you're looking recently, the two new Northern Monk ones, as I say, beginning of November I'm filming this, the two Northern Monk ones that have just gone into Tesco and Morrison's are a £5. This is £2. So you can't expect too much for your money. They've got to go ahead and, you know, make some savings somewhere. And it is on the body, it is on that. But flavour wise, I have to be fair. So, here's how I'm looking at it, because I'm going to score it now and then I'm going to go. The first beer I did in this batch, the Crazy Haze, I marked that really well because the body was absolutely top notch. They nailed the body on that, and the flavour was nice, but it wasn't wow. This is the opposite. The body lets it down, but the flavour profile is decent. I am getting chocolate. I'm getting a little bit of espresso. I'm getting roasted malt down the middle of the tongue. I'm getting bitterness down the sides. I'm getting caramel, especially in the aftertaste. They're the flavours. Excuse me. And it's going to my head as well because it's 10%. Yeah, I like that. I'll definitely buy it again, especially for £2. Which is good because I've got another can of it. So, gets a thumbs up. I'm going to stick it in a half as well. I can't give it 2 thumbs up, can't stick any feet in the air. Or do I just give it 2 thumbs up? Because I really like the flavour. No, I've got to mark it down. I've got to be fair, I'm going to mark it down for the body. And the body is thin. The more I drink it, the thinner it feels. Which is scary because it makes me think, oh, I'll just get the other can out now and just have it off camera. And I'm not going to do that. I'm really not. No, it probably wreck the rest of me